Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here today for our update about our preliminary point-in-time findings and to honor the work of our heart navigators and law enforcement officers who we believe have contributed to this outcome. You know, it's almost Valentine's Day, and I think there's a lot to say about love in this community and the compassion that is working so well to serve our citizens. Launched in October of 2022, HEART, which stands for the Homeless Engagement Assistance Resource Team, began working to provide resources to those in our community experiencing homelessness. And I'd be remiss if I didn't begin by introducing some of our incredible partners that are here with me today. I'd like to begin with Sheriff Darren Weekly. We have Tiffany Marcito and Greg from our HEART team. We have the amazing Laura Hefta, who's a veteran from Parker, and Mayor Gray from Castle Rock. Very thankful to have participation from all of our municipalities, local law enforcement, nonprofits, staff, and to have this process in Douglas County be very expert informed. So thank you for that. Already in Douglas County, we're seeing the positive impact of their daily compassion with HEART and their deep knowledge. So I'll provide some context and background in a bit, but I don't want to bury the lead, as those in the news business might say. So according to our raw and preliminary point-in-time data from January 30th, the number of people who are unsheltered in Douglas County is down 46% over 2022. So last year, what we heard is that our point in time was at 78, with 50 specifically being unsheltered. I'm thankful to be here before you today to share that because of the work of HEART, our point in time is currently at 27 people unsheltered, which is a remarkable achievement by HEART in Douglas County. I want to reiterate that the count data is preliminary and will be deduplicated and validated by the Metro Denver Homeless Initiative. But what we know undoubtedly today is that there are fewer people living on the streets in Douglas County than there were in 2022. Our counts from January 30th again indicate there were 57 people experiencing homelessness in Douglas County. Of those, 27 were unsheltered, 30 were living in temporary housing. This means that there was a 27% reduction in homelessness overall, and specifically a 46% reduction in those living without any kind of shelter in Douglas County compared to 2022. You know, every year Douglas County participates with 6 other counties and the city of Aurora to provide point-in-time data to the Metro Denver Homeless Initiative. The data is a one-day count of the number of people in each community experiencing homelessness. This year, that count took place on January 30th. Our data will be validated with that of 6 other counties in the city of Aurora and the city of Aurora later this year. The Metro Denver Homeless Initiative will release the final findings. So why are we seeing this 46% reduction? We really attribute all of this success today to our HEART team and law enforcement officers. The Homeless Engagement Assistance Resource Team grew out of a partnership that we call the Douglas County Homeless Initiative. The Douglas County Homeless Initiative embodies the practical application of our compassionate approach to serving the unhoused in Douglas County. And we try to lead with the 4 C's, which are compassion, then code enforcement, community services, and then communications. We're very, very thankful for our Handouts Don't Help campaign, which is helping to educate and inform citizens that yes, give compassionately, but not in intersections, not in a place that is going to incentivize more dangerous situations for you and people asking for resources. Give to a trusted community foundation, our Douglas County Community Foundation. Now, the HEART team pairs a navigator with law enforcement specifically to help those who are experiencing homelessness. We've seen a lot of success in this field with co-response in the mental health initiative. We've seen savings and diversions from emergency rooms and in our jails. Very similar statistics with our HEART team. Having a navigator paired with law enforcement seems to be the secret sauce that is leading to so much success. These teams do not sit around and wait for a call. They are out in our community every day, proactively building relationships and helping those who want services to find what they need. Our HEART team knows individuals in crisis by name and is working hard to address these issues. So with that, I'm pleased and honored to introduce our new sheriff, Sheriff Darren Weekly. Sheriff?
Thank you. I just want to reiterate this program, and it was modeled after the community response teams where we pair a deputy sheriff with a mental health clinician. This HEART team is also modeled similarly, where we pair a deputy sheriff with a homeless navigator. This program has proven to be extremely successful. We're very proactive, but we want to ensure that our community is safe. So we're encouraging people, if they see something that's unsafe, whether that be a homeless person panhandling in the street or in a median, or just see something that's unsafe in their community, we're encouraging them to call their local law enforcement, whether that be the sheriff's office, and then we'll get a deputy to respond, and if possible, we'll get a member of the HEART team to respond. So we have that co-responder model. So we want to ensure that our community is safe. Again, I want to reiterate that we're being proactive, and we don't want homelessness to get a foothold in our community. We want to connect them with services, and we want to ensure that everyone is safe. So with that, I will introduce Tiffany Marcito, and she is our Community Services Supervisor.
Thank you, Sheriff. Tiffany Marcito with the Homeless Engagement Assistance and Resource Team in Douglas County, also known as HEART. Like Commissioner Laydon said, we are comprised of 3 navigators who are partnered with law enforcement, and we're taking a proactive approach by going out into the community to try to find those who are experiencing homelessness and offer them resources. Those individuals who are wanting to be connected to resources, we're trying to build trust and rapport with them so they can get to an agency of their choosing. During the day, when we are on a call and find an individual who is experiencing homelessness, the law enforcement officer and the navigator go up to the individual, assess their needs, vulnerabilities, and ask what barriers they have faced to ultimately prohibit them from achieving their desired outcomes. Those outcomes could be anything from identification to housing, to benefit assistance, or to simply help them navigate to a shelter of their choosing. The HEART team provides short-term case management to the individual, and we pass their case along to the experienced case manager at the resource of their choosing. The HEART team is also, we value the compassionate and accountability approach that the commissioners and leaders have designed this program to do, and we make sure that the individual is taking those necessary steps forward toward change. I do have a quick success story that I wanted to share with you all. In October of 2022, one of the navigators received a referral of a 73-year-old woman who had been living out of her vehicle for the past year. The navigator quickly assessed the needs of the woman and reached out to faith-based and nonprofit partners, was able to secure a hotel room for her for 2 weeks, while a more stable unit was secured for the woman. The navigator reached out to local and regional resources and found a shelter specifically for elderly women. An application was submitted from the woman, and she was able to get inside the shelter. And at this time, she has moved into a transitional housing unit, which she now pays monthly for rent. That's all I have for the HEART team.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Incredible work with everything that you're doing. You know, I want to make sure and thank all of the partners who helped with the point-in-time count, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, who have been absolutely incredible, our municipal law enforcement partners in Castle Rock, Lone Tree, and Parker, All Health, Catholic Charities, the Help and Hope Center, the Parker Task Force, Mana Resource Center, the Douglas County School District, the Crisis Center, and many other members of the Community of Care Network. You know, I can't imagine a better Valentine to the people of Douglas County than our compassionate approach and a reduction in the amount of people experiencing homelessness. And I'd be really remiss not to really applaud our municipal partners. Nothing we do is possible without partnership with our cities and towns, and we work really well together in the county. So I would love to give an opportunity for Mayor Gray and Councilwoman Hefta to share any comments from your perspective, if you'd like. Mayor Gray?
Thanks, Commissioner. Thanks, everybody. I think that we talked about it earlier. The biggest thing we have is collaboration. All of our municipalities and our partners and the county together have made this happen the way it has happened. Thank you, Darren. So I just want to say, really, it's a collaboration, between our municipalities and our county and all of our partnerships. I think that we're moving forward in the right direction for people who want and need help. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Gray. Councilwoman Hefta?
It's a collaboration between our state, our federal partners, the VA, which helps many homeless veterans get into stable housing and provides per diem and resources to do so. The Denver Metro Homeless Initiative can help many veterans with this matter. And our local towns and our wonderful nonprofits, both faith-based and non-faith-based, who provide shelter, clothing, food, rental assistance, utility assistance. There is a lot of help out there for folks who are experiencing homelessness or may experience homelessness. And we all work together in Douglas County to help those folks in need. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hefta. We also heard today really significant news that as a result of the work to reduce veteran homelessness, Douglas County is the most improved county in the state. So with that, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. We couldn't have done this without all of our amazing partners, municipalities, Sheriff's Office, and the HEART team. Congratulations. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
How can you know for sure that the decrease in point-in-time count correlates to helping transition people out of homelessness, and it's not necessarily then just moving to another place where they might have more services and more shelter?
All the above. I mean, certainly from our perspective, our goal in signing the commitment to Built for Zero with the region, our goal is to reduce homelessness to functional zero. So we're pleased however that is shaped out, whether it's identifying services for individuals or for our intersections and areas in public spaces to be cleared of dangerous situations. Those are all part of that component. Let me ask Tiffany if she has any additional responses to that.
At this time, I know the point-in-time study last year and this year, weather is always a factor. I am proud to say that 30 were sheltered in Douglas County this year, and that was increased from last year. So I think that by utilizing our community resources, both faith-based and non-faith-based community partners, that has contributed to our overall decrease.
Thank you.
Other questions? Yeah.
Wasn't prepared for that, but hi. This is Ellis Arnold with Colorado Community Media and the Douglas County News Press. Thanks for taking our questions. Kind of a follow-up on that. As you guys kind of alluded to, Douglas County's point-in-time homeless count is typically in the double digits, lower than other counties in the area. Is there any chance that people on the night of this year's count were pushed out to Denver or Aurora, given the lack of emergency shelter space, particularly for men in Douglas County?
So we're really proud of our winter shelter, which does house women and children in crisis through our faith-based partnerships. That said, we're working very well as a region. We're not sending anyone to other municipalities. We do have navigation teams and vehicles, so if people have family in other areas, then transportation will be provided on a voluntary basis. I don't know, Tiffany, did you have anything else on that? Yeah.
I kind of those 30 people that were sheltered, some of them were men in a shelter. They had an area to be sheltered.
The 30 that were sheltered were either in domestic violence shelters within Douglas County on hotel vouchers or at a local regional place around the area. Yes.
And I had another follow-up. You guys had considered building pallet shelters, but that was met with a lot of unhappy community members, and so kind of the plan was put on hold. Is there any other consideration of more shelter in Douglas County?
We've heard a little bit more about opportunities to work well as a region, and we know that the state is working on a $55 million facility that would be located in Aurora. We have had some active conversations with council members and the mayor of Aurora around what that might look like. That would qualify as a shelter that is within reasonable distance for those in crisis here to be located to. But we continue to have ongoing productive conversations around that.
Yeah, kind of a related question. We've heard concerns about quote unquote pod shelters potentially being built at I believe it's the Rock Church in Castle Rock. Concerns about zoning surrounding that. Like if, hypothetically, if the Rock Church had the funding today, could it build pod shelters under its current zoning? Could it build pallet shelters under its current zoning? Or would a zoning change be needed?
So we're the county, but we do have the benefit of having Castle Rock here. I don't know, Mayor Gray, if you'd like to address that.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks again, Darren. Yeah, the Rock Church has expressed interest in doing a low-income housing in Castle Rock. Unfortunately or fortunately, they're not zoned currently for that. And right now, our citizens have kind of spoke loudly about opposing that in that area. Also, police and fire don't like the entrance or egress from there. And as well as that, I think that the town council and the staff right now is recommended against it.
Pardon me, sorry about that. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one more question. We hear this so often that it can be tough when people deny help. What's the response from Heart when people say, no, I'm good here, I want to stay here if I'm out camping outside?
Well, if they're not violating the law, we continue to engage the next time we encounter the individual. But if they're violating the law, then we leave it up to the sheriff's office to address the law violation.
And violating the law being?
There's a wide range. They could be trespassing. If they're littering, it's a wide range. So we're not trying to criminalize homelessness, certainly. We're not trying to solve it by putting people in jail. But we're also not going to look the other way if the laws are being broken.
I would just add, we received an interesting statistic from the Heart team at our last Homeless Initiative meeting that about 9 out of 10 of the individuals that are encountered do have criminal backgrounds or warrants out for their arrest. So part of our response is we want to be compassionate and direct those that are not service resistant to services. But for those that are committing crimes, in Douglas County, vandalism, littering, urinating in front of a building, open drug use, those are all still crimes. And so those will be addressed here.
And do you have the numbers on how many veterans you've helped from the previous year? I know you said that you helped some veterans, but do you have the actual numbers?
We do. I believe that there's been a fairly significant reduction down to 4. So that's where we're at now. I know the region has seen a 31% reduction in overall veteran homelessness. And for Douglas County, that distinction was the reason that we were considered to be the most improved county. Yes.
We know that the point-in-time count doesn't show everything about homelessness. What else is Douglas County using to get the entire picture of homelessness in the county?
Well, it's a very robust and active count with all of our nonprofit partners, with staff, with those on the Heart team. So technically, there's a lot more engagement this year than there has been in years past. And actually, the weather this year for the point in time was actually very consistent with the weather last year. So statistically, we feel pretty confident in terms of the results.
One last question here. This is the first year of the point-in-time count that had the benefit of having the Heart team helping out with it. Were the logistics different given that the Heart team was helping this year? And, is that expected to make the count more accurate compared to years past?
Yeah, count integrity was a top priority. And, just as one commissioner, my expectation is that the count would have been higher with so much more engagement from, again, dedicated staff, the Heart team, law enforcement, and our nonprofits. So we're very thankful to see that the number is actually significantly lower.
Other counties participate in the homeless management information system. Do you guys contribute to that too?
We do, Tiffany?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, great. Well, again, thank you everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you.